10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
How we doing, everybody? It's Wednesday, the 3rd of August. Yes, it's 9:34, not 9:33. Sue me. Maybe sue Barcelona as well. Maybe sue Chelsea too. Wow. We're here to talk about Frenkie de Jong. Yes, Frenkie de Jong is the headline story today. Yes, Frenkie de Jong's name is on the overlay down there. And I was hoping the next time that Frenkie de Jong, I had to lead with the Frenkie de Jong story, that it would be, Man United signing him. Alas, that's not the case. I'm going to be speaking about David Ornstein's update on Frenkie de Jong this morning. And I wouldn't say it's a curveball because we know that Chelsea have been sniffing around Frenkie de Jong for a little while, but it's confirmation of that sniff. It's like the pig looking for the truffle. They found the truffle. They're going after it now. And we're going to be speaking about Chelsea and Frenkie de Jong this morning. I'll cover it all. We'll have a discussion. I'm not here to lose my shit. I'm not here to rant and rave. I'm here to run through, explain the story, and we'll have a discussion in the comments. I'm going to also be speaking about Benjamin Sesko, the latest coming from Fabrizio Romano, also the latest coming out of Slovenia in terms of his move. We're going to speak about Alex Telles, the fact that he's on the verge of joining Sevilla on a season-long loan. Yes, please. Eric Bailly, maybe Sevilla too. Come on, Sevilla. Do us a favour for once. Then we're going to be speaking about Dean Henderson's interview. We'll leave it at that, but that definitely needs discussing further in the later in the show. We're going to speak about Manchester United Supporters Trust confirming the fan share scheme has really accelerated. Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. There really is. And hey, it's Manchester United, right? Every single day, there seems to be something else we need to speak about. But good morning to all of you down here. What members we've got? Stefan down here. I want goals 15. Amy MUFC. Good morning to you. See Ant. We've got T. We've got Josh. Mr. Vegemite Lover. Yeah, how you doing? Every day that name catches me out. Tyler, Craig, Alex, Oliver. Good morning to all of you. And good morning to the next episode of the Frenkie de Jong saga. The worst series you've ever watched. Apart from the last series of Game of Thrones. But David Ornstein confirming this morning here, as you can see there, Chelsea are in talks with Barcelona for Frenkie de Jong, and they hope to strike a deal. Big up to you, Peter, saying enjoyed the podcast. I hope you did enjoy that. That was me and Bao speaking yesterday, day before, on Monday, and we previewed the season. If you listen to that, you'll know my feelings about Manchester United this season, but on Thursday, that's going to go out in video format as well. But yeah, David Ornstein confirming that Chelsea are in for de Jong, right? So let's read the story and then let's have a discussion about it in the comments. This is what he said. He said, Chelsea are also hoping to beat domestic rival to another player, having rivaled Man United in the contest to sign Frenkie de Jong. They are speaking to Barcelona about the 25-year-old and are optimistic about striking a deal. United previously reached that club-to-club agreement, but the Netherlands international has not yet made a decision. And he actually went a little bit further on that when he was questioned on Twitter, and he said this. He said, this article refers to striking an agreement between the clubs. The player side is a different matter altogether. As far as we know, de Jong's preference is to stay at Barcelona. It is a messy situation. Well, that's one way to describe this whole situation, which has been evolving all summer long. Painful, painful, painful. Now, the first thing to understand, I think, about this, about the fact that Chelsea are in for de Jong, is I get the feeling this is a major, major reason why Barcelona have just been sitting there. They've been sat on their hands. They've been waiting and waiting away. And we've had loads of conversations about this across the summer. We've all found it really curious as to why no other club was in for Frenkie de Jong. It kind of didn't really make sense. I mean, he's an elite level player. He's available. It's obvious that Barcelona would sell him, X, Y, Z. It felt a bit odd. So at that point, let's not all lose our shit that Chelsea are all of a sudden interested in signing him, and all of a sudden they're in for him. We were more surprised the fact that there wasn't a bidding war this whole summer than the idea that Chelsea are now in for him. And I think, as I said, this is what Barcelona have been waiting for. Barcelona all summer long have refused to pay his wages. That's the reason why we're stuck in this situation. That does not change with this conversation. Man United have already agreed a deal with Barcelona. 85 million euros. We agreed a deal twice, didn't we? 65 million we agreed. We agreed on the upfront fee of 65 million, and then we had conversations around the add-ons, which took a lot longer. And then we agreed a new upfront fee of 75 million with 10 million add-ons. Both of those were agreed. We fully agreed with Barcelona, the deal. Yet, it's not been sorted between De Jong and Barcelona. Now, this is what I want you to, because for me, this is where the Chelsea situation develops the De Jong situation, right? And I want you to let me know what you think in the comments. Chelsea coming in, it gives Barcelona exactly what they wanted in the bidding war. And Barcelona will now just be sitting there and hoping that either Chelsea or Manchester United stump up those A, deferred wages, and B, just that Man United or Chelsea pay the wages so they don't have to. That's what Barcelona, it feels like, have been waiting for this whole time. And let's be honest, Barcelona don't exactly have a moral compass this summer. They do not give a toss at all who they piss off, what they do, who they stamp on, or who they walk over. Barcelona have really exposed themselves this summer. Really, really badly. My God. Horrendous club. But, I mean, Stephen, it's not that at all. It's not a case of highest bidder and sold. The bidder's already agreed. 85 million euros. Barcelona might be sitting there going, oh, maybe we can squeeze an extra 5 minutes. It's not about that. It's about maybe now Manchester United agreeing that 85 million, but boom, all of it goes up front. Maybe that will change the conversation. But, I mean, Chelsea have been outdone by Barcelona all summer long. All the players they wanted to sign have gone to Chelsea, have gone to Barcelona, Rafinha and Koundé, and now they're in conversations with him. Chelsea don't know what they're fucking doing this summer, all right? I'm not particularly scared of Chelsea. Ultimately, what this thing will show us, and we will find out, right? Because we've heard all summer long that Champions League football is the thing that Frenkie de Jong is so desperate for. It's completely desperate for. Let's find out. Because if Chelsea do agree, and I think Frenkie de Jong's missus, of course she's going to prefer to live in London than Manchester. And I imagine, seeing as he's literally just got engaged to her, that she has quite a sway in terms of where they go next. So if she does want to move to London, I don't think Frenkie will completely dismiss that. But let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to read a few of yours out here because this is really it's not a delicate situation. I think we all expected to be in this position about 6 weeks ago. Why it's taken Chelsea this long, I don't know. It's almost like they sacked their whole transfer department and their new owner is now taking charge and they don't really know what's going on. Dave saying Chelsea will end up paying his deferred wages just to get one over on us. I mean, they've spectacularly missed out on Rafinha, on Koundé. They've got Sterling. They've got Koulibaly, of course, but they want to go bigger. So they probably will. And that's what I mean. Barcelona are sitting there toasting. Laporta is sitting there having a little glass of champagne going, here you go, lads. We've done it. This is what we've been waiting for. Dean saying, don't know why Chelsea support Barcelona. They screwed him over so many times. I don't think they suppose him. Sam, move on for fuck's sake. You're so shamelessly obsessed. It's almost like our manager is obsessed with Frenkie de Jong. What do you expect me to do? Nah, I'm just going to ignore what Ten Hag wants and I'm just going to focus on I'm just going to focus intensely on Ruben Neves, even though I don't think that's going to happen. We'll have a little conversation about Ruben Neves in a bit. Then all of you in the comments will be down here going, Sam, why are you talking about Neves? It's weird. It's honestly really weird. Helgon, this, I suppose, is the reaction that we are going to see this week. Whether or not this forces Manchester United's... I mean, it doesn't really force Manchester United's hand. Look, as you can see here, David Ornstein explaining the same. Like, De Jong wants to stay in Barcelona. We've known that the whole time. But again, I still think that revolves around the wages. It's just, it's weird, man. It's really, really weird's not the right way to describe it, actually. I think something I do want to say, right? And I have to say this right now because I know there's going to be a ton of people that come in here and they slam Murto, they slam Arnold, they slam the board because it's an easy thing to do. And it's so massively incorrect in this situation. We've agreed the deal. We've agreed the fee with Barcelona. If hypothetically we don't sign Frenkie de Jong, if hypothetically we miss out on him and he goes to Chelsea and he does want to play Champions League football, then Erik ten Hag has misjudged. And I'm not sitting here pointing a finger and slamming my man, blah, blah, blah. But Erik ten Hag is steadfast in his idea in his head, clearly, that Frenkie de Jong wants to join Manchester United. If we can agree all the nitpicking and all the fit, he'll come and he'll be happy. Maybe he misjudged that. And I think for my Dutch followers, anybody who's watching now, as far as I know, it's quite a known part of the Ten Hag personality. Sometimes it comes across as blunt, but that's just a direct way of a Dutch personality, if you want to call it that. And stubbornness may well be one thing here that's involved in this, because there's no way that United have gone this far down the line without it being Erik ten Hag who keeps pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And I've stood by him, and I will continue to support him. And if he doesn't want to get an alternative and he thinks he can train from within, I'll have to continue supporting him there, because I'm not going to start undermining my manager before Man United have kicked a ball under his tenureship, right? I always felt that the connection between Erik ten Hag and Frenkie de Jong was more important and a bigger pull and sway than the idea of living in London instead of Manchester. The idea of playing Champions League football. Shit, Chelsea might finish 5th next year, given what's going on, and they might not even have Champions League. You know how funny that would be? And then Frenkie de Jong put in a transfer request to come to United. Look, I expected Chelsea to come in earlier than they've come in. I'm not losing my shit over it. I think this is a perfect situation for Barcelona. I think they're going to be sitting there laughing and toasting. And now they're going to want one of those clubs, Man United or Chelsea. They're going to wait now and see which one of them is going to sort of squeeze first. They ultimately don't want to pay Frenkie de Jong the wages that he is owed. Right? And that is the situation that we're in now. Chelsea are in for Frenkie de Jong. Let's see if it changes Manchester United's approach. We've already agreed the deal, 75 plus 10. Maybe we'll switch that to an 85 all up front. Maybe we'll throw in an extra 5 million to, I don't know, pay some of the deferred wages. It's such a grim situation, and everybody's just feeling the reverberations of what Barcelona are doing this summer, right? If we were to go over here, I swear to God, Laporta could genuinely give Boris Johnson a run for his money. Like to have the confidence to say this in an interview. Our revenue this season is 1 billion euros, and the profits are 124 million. I mean, talk about twisting the figures. My word, my God! If you looked at the balance sheet, it's a very, 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 very different conversation. And we go over here and we look at the Athletic and the latest article they've done, sort of explaining it. Do you know how mad this is, right? I'd explain this one here. Basically, what Barcelona did is they tried to secure a loan, a new big loan out, and using the security of Champions League broadcast revenues as the security for that loan. So if I don't know if Barcelona were to become liquidated, then the security would be used to pay up that loan. So they basically went to UEFA and said, look, we want you to give us like 3 years worth. It's mad. It's honestly, it makes you laugh. It really makes you laugh what Barcelona are doing this summer. It's crazy. They just said to UEFA, we want to get a massive loan out and offset it against potential future revenues, broadcast revenues from the Champions League, even though we're not in it. Steve is down here saying Barcelona are doing what is necessary to survive and compete. And it's exactly what they're doing. Barcelona are down there and they will bite the hand off anybody. They will cut someone else's arm off. They will eat anything. They will eat anyone, and they will do whatever is necessary to survive. Barcelona are in pure survival mode. It's exactly what it is, Steve. And that's why they have no moral compass. Because when you're in survival mode, the only thing that matters is surviving. Everything else can be slightly irrelevant. But Barcelona have just been crazy, crazy, crazy this summer. They're actually the biggest spenders in the market out of any club in European football. It's mind-boggling. It's really, really mind-boggling. And it's led to this situation where Manchester United, unfortunately, have got involved this summer with Frenkie de Jong. My. How I wish it was someone else we went after. Well, not someone else we went after. Frenkie de Jong, I can understand that the transformative nature of the signing, but we've just got ourselves caught up in some weird situation. And this is a summer which will, it's an unprecedented summer. What Barcelona have done and are doing this summer, we'll never see that again. I imagine there might be some new rules that come out after this summer, given what they're doing. Real Madrid have been just as... dude, I'm not in here to have conversations about corruption in Spanish football. Jesus, how long have we got? How long is a piece of string? I'm here talking specifically about what Barcelona are doing this summer. I'm not getting dragged into a conversation about all the shit that goes on in Spain. I've sod that. I get bored enough talking about Frenkie de Jong, let alone talking about all of that. Of course, lots of you in the comment, I'm bored. Let's move on. I mean, it would be terrible, wouldn't it? Absolutely terrible. Look, if we do move on from Frenkie de Jong, Melissa Reddy from Sky Sports here saying, look, from Manchester United's end, they remain quite confident that their agreement with Barcelona for de Jong and that the player does want to join. And then, of course, just kind of throwing in different names now. Man United have got a long-standing interest in Ruben Neves because of his stylistic profile, incredible passing range, goal-scoring threat, and the way he controls tempo. I think she was just kind of throwing out random names. Well, you know what I think about Ruben Neves? I've thought Ruben Neves would be an excellent signing for years now. I still think he would be an excellent. He wouldn't be as good as Frenkie de Jong. And it seems like Erik ten Hag, again, when we talk about stubbornness, if Erik ten Hag was stubborn in the fact that he wanted de Jong and de Jong only, he will be stubborn in the idea, I think, that he'll go for no one else and he'll try and train from within rather than spending 40, 50, 60, 70 million. How much do you think Ruben Neves will cost? Type that in the comments. Jesus, Johnny, I hope not. My God, I hope not. Nick saying, look, they basically pull 3 levers with total on over 400 million. With that, they make 123 million profit. Honestly, man, whoever the accountant at Barcelona is, he deserves a raise, an absolute raise, because what they've raised 500 million from selling off 25% of their TV revenue for the next 10 years. Then they got 100 million for selling off 25%, I think, of their Barcelona studios. And then they've just gone and invested all that cash. They haven't really reduced the debt that much. That's what I mean. They're like over $1 billion in debt. But don't worry, because they've got over $1 billion in revenue and their profits are 124. As I say, wow. Politicians, man. I fucking hate politicians. And Laporta has proven himself to be a very, very astute one. One that is capable of lying through his front teeth and putting a smile on. Sanchez would be an excellent alternative. What you mean, Renato Sanchez, who I think is on the way to PSG, if I'm correct. Let me see what we're saying down here in the comments then about Ruben Neves and about the price that you think that Ruben Neves would cost. Easy 65 down there, 65, 60, 70, 55, 60. Sam, you're saying the same thing. And Petty, you're saying 40. No. I love all the references to Better Call Saul. Oh, I think a new episode came out yesterday. No spoilers in the comments. No spoilers. They definitely got Saul on the case. Needs to get the vacuum guy in. Maybe put the porter, get him a new identity. 60 plus 10 million add-ons. I don't think it's going to be that much, Thomas. Let's not go crazy. But I think 60 to 70 million is probably a fair estimation in the comments. I would also kind of tend to agree with Steve here in the fact that we're not giving Neves at this point. It feels a bit weird. And 70 million, it would be 70 million. It'll be... They would probably look at the Frenkie de Jong situation and go, right, okay, United, so you agreed to pay 75 million euros for Frenkie de Jong. Okay, you can pay 75 million euros for Ruben Neves. Let's have a conversation. Because they've got precedent. They could use that bid against United in negotiations. Barca accountant has probably had his wages deferred. Jeez. Mate, they're trying to do the same thing with Martin Braithwaite at the moment, who always cracks me up that Martin Braithwaite ever played for Barcelona. It is what it is. But they're trying to get him. They're trying to get him out the door, but he's refusing to leave without getting paid the wages that he's owed. Where have I heard that before? I've got absolutely no idea, honestly. If we were to go over to the Spanish newspaper Sport and look at the headline on the front page of Mundo Deportivo today, Operation Salida, which I think means exits, if I'm correct. Of course, they got Frenkie de Jong there. They got, what is it, Ricky Puig? Where's he going to? LA Galaxy, Mingueza, and Memphis Depay. And that's an interesting one. I just wanted to have a little conversation about that this morning. Because Fabrizio Romano here confirming yesterday with an exclusive that Barca and Memphis Depay's lawyers are in negotiations to reach an agreement for him to become a free agent. Because there's no way that anyone's paying 20 million euros for him. Memphis will accept to leave Barcelona only in case he finds the right option. So I want you to let me know in the comments. You can type yes or no in. Would you take Memphis Depay on a free transfer? Is that just a case of getting somebody in on a free transfer because you can get him in on a free transfer? Would he actually be a better? I mean, he'd probably be a better option, let's be honest, looking at it now, than Tahith Chong and Anthony Elanga. I don't think it's as simple as just saying yes immediately. I don't think so. Even if he is available on a free transfer. As I said, it's about having the right players in at the club, not just players for the sake of having players. Let me go down there and read a few of your comments out here. Stephen, absolutely. Well, you are right with that. If he comes who want a signing on fee and who want massive wages. But Joshua, you're saying, look, we need strikers. Daisy, you're saying we need depth. But Brian and Pele, you're both saying no. But look how split these comments are. This exactly sums it up. I'm just going to click absolutely lots of them. Absolutely lots of them. That's a really weird sentence. No, yes, no, yes, yes, no, 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 yes. No, no, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, a lot of you saying yes. I'm torn on that one. I am torn on the idea of it as a free transfer. I'd rather United focus on Sesko. We're speaking about Sesko next, by the way. As I say, it's goddamn busy at the moment. I say busy at the moment. It's been absolutely full tilt crazy covering United this summer. I really feel like I've done it quite well. I've tried not to be too... I think the only video that I've done this summer, I can say off the top of my head, that I've been reactive to was the Ronaldo video I did at the weekend, that when he left before full time. It took me about an hour to publish that because I was like, this feels like it kind of goes against the sort of content I do. But I did it. I still stand by what I said that just come out. Maybe that Man United were okay. I don't want to speak about Ronaldo. Fuck that, actually. But yeah, make sure you please drop a like. And if you are new, make sure you subscribe to United People's TV. But Memphis Depay on a free transfer, maybe that's a conversation we're going to have in the next week or so. Let's see what goes on there because it's an interesting one. Because as Fabrizio Romano confirms here, his agents are in talks with Barca to try and get his contract torn up so that he can leave as a free transfer. It's an interesting one, I think so anyway. But let's move on here and let's speak about the big signing that we all want to happen in attack. And that's Benjamin Sesko. Fabrizio Romano here is saying that I've been told Benjamin Sesko will make his decision of his future. And this week will be very important. Benjamin Sesko, right? Man United we went in first for him. We were speaking to Sesko the week before his performance against Liverpool. Really good performance, cracking goal, cracking highlights reel. And it sort of exploded since then. But we registered our interest there. We went in early, and I think that's helping United in this situation. Fabrizio Romano confirming that he's going to make a decision this week. Now, Rok Viskovic is coming out of Slovenian newspaper, and he's saying this, is that Benjamin Sesko currently has quite a few concrete offers on the table, but he has not yet agreed to any of them. He's thinking about what's best for his development, and if he accepts one, offers can be expected to be made to Salzburg. So the insinuation there from Rock is that clubs are it's going to be down to Benjamin Sesko to decide, right, okay, which club do I want to join? And then it will be down to Man United or whoever else it is to agree that fee with Salzburg directly. And we go over here, and I think this is completely fair to say as well, staying at Salzburg is also an option. Absolutely, it's an option. I don't think you can rule that out whatsoever, no matter what goes on. I'm going to go up here because I think, yeah, Joseph, every single day, man, you come in here, you're an absolute G. G of the channel you are. Let's get you on as a mob, my friend. Joseph dropping another 5 memberships there as a gift to everybody. Honestly, it makes, Sanka's putting the right word there. Everybody's so generous on this channel and generous in trying to make this community bigger and better. So thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much, everybody who keeps helping make this community bigger and better. And honestly, man, what we've done and where we've come to get to this point has been fantastic. And now the season started. I hope we can just get bigger and better, and United too. Chris, you're saying down here, do you think we'll go for Neves straight away if we walk away from De Jong? And even if we get Sesko, we are still light on the wings. It strikes me more the fact that Manchester United won't go for an alternative. I think that's more likely than signing Neves. This is what my gut's telling me from how stubborn Ten Hag has been with his De Jong approach. I think he'll be stubborn in the idea. He's always talked about development, internal development. I think he'll stick to that. And your conversation there about, I know we are. We're still light on the wings for sure. We needed a new attacker before the idea of Ronaldo leaving. And we need another one anyway. We're certainly light on the right wing. But unfortunately, it's the difficulty of position, because what Man United need on that right wing, we might say, Anthony would be brilliant. But we've got Jadon Sancho, man. He's our number one choice in that right wing. So the player that you kind of need to sign for that right wing position is somebody who's on the cusp of becoming a first-team regular at this elite level, and somebody who could challenge Jadon Sancho, but somebody who ultimately wouldn't be too pissed off if he sat on the bench for a lot of Premier League games. And it's a very specific caliber of player. So it's not as easy as just going out. I don't think Memphis Depay would be happy if he came to United and then just sat on the bench the whole time. Why would he be? He feels he's ready to play every single week, but he wouldn't be if he came to United. Dean, thank you very much, buddy. Go, as I say, look, people love to drag me down in sort of Goldbridge conversations. I'm telling you, like, the guy's great at what he does. He is an entertainer. He has multiple. Go and watch him on That's Football. Go and watch him here. Go and watch him there. Go and watch him on TalkSport. He's an entertainer. He entertains. But that's not my focus. It's never been my focus, and it's why I'll never do watch-alongs, and it's not my... I don't ever want any video of me clipped up and people laughing at me. I don't want to be a laughing stock, even if it makes me bigger and better, technically, in terms of numbers. It's not my style. Dio, nice to see you there, buddy. Let me know where you're watching from. I'll try and give you a shout-out. Ziyech would be a good backup. Hell, we've talked about that. I have spoken about that. Ziyech, kind of a little bit surprised that we really kind of haven't been properly linked with Ziyech. We could get him relatively cheap. He knows the Ten Hag system. It seems like a really, really smart, maybe it might be the short-term signing, Ziyech ahead of Anthony next summer. But I don't know. Nothing's really happened on that one. I'll tell you who we all love now. We love Blas Crema. See it down there in the bottom right. He plays. He is Benjamin Sesko's Slovenian national team teammate. And he's there with a top comment on his latest post saying, "Come to Manchester United." Yes, absolutely. Come on, Blas. We've got some sweet, sweet propaganda going on there. Come on. Maybe, let's be completely honest, right? The majority of us, we didn't really know who Sesko was for a few weeks ago. It wasn't a name that came up. But now I want him. Because I want United to change the profile of players that we sign. I think it's a really, really important part of the progression that we need to make over the next few years. And it's not just about signing top level players. It's about signing gems, 19 raw potential, somebody who clearly has got quality, but somebody who can blossom at United. They are my favorite types of signings. That's why I'm so excited about Tyrell Malacia, because I can see straight away that he's a gem, but I know in a few years he's going to be much better than he is now. And I want to watch that progression. It's really satisfying to watch that progression when you get a signing correct. Another super chat here from Chris. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for the answer. Love the content. Favorite United channel due to the interaction. I'm going to my first United game this Sunday too. Come on, Chris. Hopefully you're a good luck charm, because I want those 3 points against Brighton. Please. And thank you very much, man. As I say, I try not to pull up too many complimentary posts. Oh, I love the content. I don't want to sort of blow my own trumpet. At the same time as I try not to get dragged down into the arguments. Keep the highs lower and keep the lows a little bit higher. Keep yourself a little bit balanced. It's the easiest way to live. Dave, what are you saying? Days. What about Nunez of Sporting? There's lots and lots of names that we can throw about who are alternatives to Frenkie de Jong, who, when you look at him, go, it would probably improve Manchester United's midfield. But I don't think Ten Hag's interested. I really, really don't. I'll tell you something I'm interested in. Segue. I'm very much interested in the fact that Sevilla are closing in on Alex Telles. He's accepted Sevilla and the agreement is set to be completed. We're only down to final details. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. We need some serious exits this summer. We really, really do. Alex Telles, even before Tyrell Malacia came in, I said that we needed him to leave. He's just not been good enough for Manchester United at any point. Really, really disappointing signing, if I'm being completely honest. And he's moving to Sevilla by the looks of it. This is good. Jacob, very easy to explain this. What good is a loan? Manchester United, because of the way that we've structured our deals, we give fringe players overinflated contracts to the point that when we want to sell them, no club can afford to buy them because their wages are ridiculous and they don't want to take a wage cut. The only way of getting over that is to loan him off for a season with the obligation to buy or an option to buy. It worked with Andreas Pereira. It's the only way that we're going to get out of this Ed Woodward legacy and into something new, right? Like we just signed Lisandro Martinez and he's on 120 grand a week. That's about 20 grand more than fucking Alex Telles, right? That's Woodward is absolutely, Daisy has done it there. He really stuffed us up. Woodward's stench is still here in all the contracts and the players that we can't get rid of. Alex Telles going out on a season-long loan. Hopefully he does well there. Then they can buy him and they can agree a different wage packet because he would have spent a year in Sevilla. He'd be more open to the idea of taking a wage cut to stay there. Simple as that. That's what it is. Ideally, we'd sell them all straight away, but we can't because we screwed ourselves with the wages. Estevo, 3 points off Brighton is paramount. Social media will be praying for a loss. It will set. Of course it will. But look, I've got real confidence going into that game. I'm not blindly confident, but I'm I'm feeling confident. Kabir, let me know where you're watching from, fella. Let me read you a few of your comments down here. I don't know whether there's going to be an obligation or an option, Helgon. We'll wait for the deal to be announced and agreed. I think the majority of the loans that United have are more options to buy. Of course, it could end up being like Martial. It could end up being like Martial. But Martial didn't have particularly a great time there, did he? No, he did not. Alex Telles, just please go. Please go. And I'll tell you what, getting rid of Alex Telles, there might be some of you saying, look, Sam, maybe we could keep Alex Telles so we've got the strength in depth. It's really important to have players at your club who want to be there. And that same sort of conversations, oh, Sam, that's why we shouldn't be going off Frenkie de Jong. And I've explained my position on that and why I think him wanting to stay at Barcelona does not necessarily mean he doesn't want to join United. And I've separated those conversations. But this yesterday really shows why it's important to have the right people in your dressing room and to get rid of the wrong people from your dressing room. Because this interview, if you haven't seen it from Dean Henderson, my word, let me read through some of the quotes and then I want to join you in the comments. I want to hear your opinion on this situation because it's explosive is one way to describe it. He was asked whether he spoke to Ten Hag. He said, no, I didn't speak to Ten Hag. I didn't really want the manager to come in and be able to see me in training because I knew that he'd probably want to keep me. I tried to do it all before I left for the summer. I told the hierarchy I need to play football. I don't want to be here playing second fiddle. I was almost gone before the manager came in the door and I haven't spoken to him since. Going a little bit more detail down here. The conversation I had coming out of the Euro 2020 squad was you're coming back here to be number one. Then I got COVID. I come back and so I should still have been the number one. But unfortunately, no one followed through with anything they told me. It was frustrating as well because I turned so many good loans down last summer for the reason of being promised number one and they wouldn't let me go. To sit there and waste 12 months is criminal, really, at my age. I was fuming. It's probably been the toughest 12 months of my career. It's been hard, and I'm so happy I've got out of the other end, and I'm so excited to be here at Forest and ready to go. I want you to let me know what you think about that interview in the comments below, because that's just full-blown explosiva is how I would describe it. First thing I would say Dean Henderson, let me pull this part up here. Let me scroll down here. Dean Henderson saying, look, conversation I had coming out of Euro 2020 was you're coming back here to be number one. Then I got COVID. Yeah, man, you got COVID. Simple as that. Football is a cruel game, right? Football is cruel. He got COVID. De Gea, therefore, was given another opportunity because he would have been number one had that COVID not kicked in, but it did. De Gea, therefore, got another opportunity. And you know what De Gea did? He grabbed that with both hands and he said, I am not letting go of this. And De Gea really flew from that point onwards. And honestly, there's going to be some real conflict. Let's go down here. You seriously have something personal against Alex Telles and Bai, maybe because your boy... dude, how does anybody push that shit? They try to make it xenophobic and it's fucking weird. It's really weird, man, that you would say comments like that. It's staggering. Staggering, it really is. Anyway, back to genuine conversation, but I had to call that bullshit out. Dean Henderson, man, there's confidence, having confidence in your own ability and having a slight bit of arrogance is so important, right? So important. But I would kind of be surprised if Henderson ever played for United again after that interview. He's effectively said, nah, I didn't speak to the manager whatsoever. I was too good for it. Really weird complex, I think. Clearly somebody who felt like he was owed something more than he got. It's Ant, you're down here saying, look, make no mistake, look, Hendo's interview has been kept. I think Henderson's gone now. Absolutely. I do not think he's going to be playing for Manchester United again. I was really, really surprised at the level of the ferocity in his interview. Properly ferocious. Coming at United, guns akimbo, firing, chucking in grenades. Woe is me. I got COVID. And I didn't get my chance when I came back. Yeah. It's effectively what it sounds like. Like injuries get in the way of people's career the whole time. That's what I mean. Football is ruthless. His chance was there. His chance got taken away by COVID. And by the time he was ready to do it, his chance wasn't there anymore because De Gea was playing brilliantly. That's the way that fucking football works, man. To try and say that's some sort of criminal activity by Manchester United, and it's just not based in reality, is it? 100% agreed with everything Dino said, except that he should have been our first choice when he came back from COVID. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's see what else you're saying down here. We've got Aiden. You've joined as a member. Let me know where you're watching from, my friend. I'll try and give you a shout out. Johnson, you're saying, look, his interview shows a lack of character. Effectively, still a United player and giving this sort of interview. And look, if you've seen it, of course, he's still a United player. He's angry. Angry. Look at this. This is a separate interview that he's given. But remember, he's still a Manchester United player. Dean Henderson being asked him what team he wants to go against, it'll be Manchester United. Like it's really weird. I've never seen an interview that ferocious from a player who's literally just left us on loan and is still contracted by Manchester United. Yeah, I think that's kind of a fair comparison. Lukaku constantly flirting, twerking for Inter when he was back at Chelsea. It's really weird, man. Aiden, you're watching from Australia. How you doing, buddy? I mean, nice to have you on board. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that's the last time I think we see Dean Henderson in a Manchester United shirt. I think he's gone now. I think Manchester United will sell him. Why would you bring that back to the club? You wouldn't. It's about having the right characters in the... Look, you want to get a sort of comparison. I mean, it's not really a comparison, I'll be honest. But in terms of having the right attitudes and approaches in the dressing room, of course it's different because Hannibal is a young kid coming through and somebody who's eager to take his opportunities rather than someone like Dean Henderson who's spent time out on loan and feels like he should be playing first team football regularly. But I like this from Hannibal. He goes, I'm ready to risk it all to succeed at Manchester United. He goes, I didn't come here for nothing. not to have it in my CV. I played for United. I came to prove to the world that a young person from the districts of Paris can come and win. And I would stake everything to succeed here. And that's the sort of attitudes that really can affect a dressing room in a positive way. And there's down here, like I'm sure you're not the only one, Saucy, that has a degree of sympathy. I've told you, man, I have got a degree of sympathy. I do not think he's been badly treated by Manchester United at all. Dean Henderson was given a bumper new contract, was told he was going to be the number one next season because De Gea had lost his form completely, disappeared, and he was our number one going into the pre-season. Then he got COVID. Then his chance went. And he's taken it as a personal criminal act by Manchester United for the fact that he got ill and someone else then came and took their opportunity. It's weird, man. He's taken it really, really personally when that's what football is. Jeez, right now, if he goes to Nottingham Forest and he gets injured and the replacement goalkeeper comes in, puts in an absolute stormer, Henderson's going to sit on the bench because the goalkeeper's better than him. What's he going to do then? Release another interview saying that, this Nottingham Forest loan move is criminal. How dare they do this? I mean, how very dare they? As I say, there's a real sense of entitlement in that interview. It's a bit weird. Ian, you're down there saying the famous 3 words from Fabrizio. Let me see if you're lying to me. You better not be lying. I'm sure you wouldn't be. Ba-da-ba-ba. There we go. Yeah, boy. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. I don't know. That's my Here We Go tune, apparently. Alex Tellez to Sevilla. Here we go. And confirmed full agreement between United on a loan deal. There you go. Been told there's no buy option clause. So it's just a straight. Oh, man. I got to laugh it, man. I got to laugh. I think a lot of people just don't understand what the concept of an agenda is. I think it's just a very easy word to use online. So you just throw it out there and you try and make it stick. There's a couple of super chats here. I don't want to miss any. I think I've missed a couple. Let me scroll up. Toya, what are you saying? This backs up the rumor that Henderson was one of the main league. I mean, again, I'm not making that assumption, but that's what people are going to be thinking. Olivia, this is completely true. And this is where I do have a little bit of sympathy. At the very least, Henderson's interview confirms that Solskjaer had the habit of making promises he couldn't keep. I think Solskjaer did do that. And you'll remember my opinion on what happened with Donny van der Beek when we kept him for that in that summer when we didn't let him go. I think it was Everton or somewhere else. We nearly had a loan move agreed. We said no, we kept him because it suited the squad to have him there as an option, but he didn't play at all. So by the time January came around, my opinion completely flipped. And I said, look, it's obvious that we've not given Donny what we've told him we're going to give him. Let's let him go to Everton on loan. He deserves it at this point. But Henderson is different. He was promised that number 1 jersey. He was given the number 1 jersey. He got COVID, and then De Gea came back in like insane mode. And he couldn't drop him because he was too good. You can't drop your best players when it comes to form anyway. Joseph, if Henderson is so disgruntled, why didn't he take a pay cut and leave permanently this summer? I don't know. I don't know that. Tabibi saying, I completely understand Dean, as he only signals his disappointment with fake promises. However, he stayed professional while he's in the dressing room. And then as soon as he's out of it, it's double shotgun. That's what he's doing. Ask him to sue COVID. Bastard COVID. Let me go down here and make sure I haven't missed any other super chats. It's not a case of ignoring clout. I'm trying to educate people. Like, understand what an agenda is before you accuse someone of it. It really is strange. It really, really is strange. And that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, going back to the Here We Go there. Let's not get distracted. Fabrizio Romano confirming that Alex Tellez is going to Sevilla. Good. That's one deal done. Right. Eric Bailly, let's go. Phil Jones, let's go. Axel Tuanzebe, let's go. My agenda against those players. Woo! Fierce. But look, we need more of these players who are just going to be fringe players, who are just going to sit there, collect wages, and ultimately not be the right energy in the dressing room. We don't need them there. And when it comes to our defenders, my word, how many defenders we got? We still got 7 centre-backs. That's why we need Bailly, Jones, and Tuanzebe all ideally to go. Ian, well, you're not wrong there. I think we all want to sue COVID. Isn't it weird? 2 years of all of our lives just got ripped up. And now we're semi coming back to normal. And I just want to forget it ever happened. It's nice. Well, it's not nice, isn't it? But it is what it is. One thing I want to touch on here before we end the show is something that I think is considerably important. Manchester United Supporters Trust yesterday launched a proposal of that new fan share scheme, right? The details are only coming out at the moment. It's not all firmed up, but basically, let me run through a bit of the information, and I will do a separate video on this. Trust me, this isn't something that I can only just do at the end of a live video, but this is something that's developing at this moment in time, and I will cover it in more detail probably later in the month. And it said this. It said, Manchester United Supporters Trust have confirmed that consultation process has been launched. Under the FSS, the fan share scheme, fan shares would carry the same voting weight compared to the Glazer family's B shares. The proceeds of the share sales would then be reinvested into the club, and the Glazers would not get any money, right? That's, of course, it's something that we've been waiting for. This was supposed to come in the beginning of last season. So we're effectively 12 months behind schedule. But this really is a better late than never thing. This is you remember the 50+1 campaign? The idea that no matter what comes from an outside investor, the club is always 51% owned by the fans. It's the whole German business model. We all look at it. We all look on it with sort of like jealous eyes, and ideally, that's where United go towards. And I had an idea, and I want to think. I'll mention it here on the live stream here because I thought about this when this launches, right? And I've read into the little bits of details at the moment. I think the idea of the initial, we don't know how many shares are going to be launched at the beginning. We don't know the structure of it. We don't know the minimum purchase of shares. We don't know X, Y, Z. But Manchester United Supporters Trust want to have as many different fans instead of having one person with 1,000 shares, they want to have 1,000 people with one share to spread the voice around. But I was also thinking, wouldn't it be wicked if we launched some sort of, what I would like to do is, hypothetically, I was to invest X amount in United, and we could collectively put that in as United People's TV, and we could then be one of the big hitters together as a community. We would then all together own X amount of shares in Manchester United, and then we could sort of have our own little influence, I suppose you want to call it, on the club. I thought that would be an amazing way to sort of mobilize a community that we've built and grown and grown and grown, because I think we all want that together. It's just something I thought about. I don't know whether that's the right thing to do, but I think that'll be a pretty cool idea. I'm going to let this continue to develop. As I said, this is something that was supposed to be here last year, and we waited a year for it, right? We've really waited a year. Exactly, that's what it is. It'll be a share collective. It'll be something that we would all then agree on, the decisions that we all want to take together. And I think in that sense, it would be a way for us to really make our voice powerful, because ultimately, when it gets to this situation where there is 100,000 shares, if we can own 10,000 of them, then we own 10% of it. And we can therefore have more of a collective idea and a collective voice together, rather than 10,000 of us trying to say the same thing. It's something worth thinking about. I'll let it develop over the course of time, but maybe it's something I'm thinking about anyway. I liked it. Oh, Jesus, what a show that was this morning. Of course, De Jong is the main story, and my agenda's against Alex Telles and everyone else. But not Luke Shaw or Harry Maguire, apart from the fact that I absolutely took Harry Maguire to the top of the Hell in a Cell last year and threw him off it. I do feel a little bit bad about that, I'll be honest. I think I went really hard on Maguire. Kind of stand by what I said. Happy to call myself out if he has a cracking season this season. Let's find out. But that's quite an exciting thing. There's nothing really else to say on it at the moment, because we don't know the final details of how many shares are being released, how you buy any shares, X, Y, Z. But it's happening. It's been a long time coming. But thank you all for joining in this morning. I've tried not to rant and rave too much. I've got a video coming out at lunchtime today that I think you'll definitely want to watch. It's a really important one about transfers. Really important. You remember at the start of the summer, I said De Gea, Ten Hag deserved 200 million. I stood by that. I stand by that. And the numbers have come out to prove that's the case, right? So make sure you subscribe to United People's TV. Thank you all for joining in this morning. Anthony watching from the Netherlands. How you doing, buddy? Look, I'll be here tomorrow morning, as always. I'll be here later on today. So make sure you drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Wow, this summer's trying to kill us all, I swear.